me the craziest paranormal thing that has ever happened to you. I'll go first. So back 9 years ago, I used to live at my sister's house because I was a single mom at the time. So I had my 1-year-old and a newborn at the time. So no, she wasn't one, she was going to be 2. Well, anyways, we used to live at my sister's house, and I used to stay in a room downstairs. There was 3 bedrooms up downstairs and then 2 bedrooms upstairs. And so downstairs, there was me and my brother. My brother was in the room right next to me, and then there was a room right in front of me that my sister used as a playroom. Well, that room used to belong to the previous owner's son that had passed away. They used to call him 22. So he used to sleep inside that room. Well, anyways, when I used to stay in the room, I woke up one day like at 3 in the morning, and I heard this noise, like this little music chime sound, and I was wondering where it was coming from. I thought it was a house phone because I thought my boss was calling me because we weren't going to go to work or something. So anyways, I wake up, I go to the living room, I turn on the phone, and I answer like, hello, and nobody was on the other line. So then I look at the caller ID, there was no missed calls, and it was 3 in the morning, and I was like, no, my boss wouldn't call me at 3 in the morning. So then I was just standing there in the living room, looking around and wondering where the noise was coming from. I was like, maybe a cell phone, maybe something was left here in the living room. And all of a sudden, inside of that room, right in front of my bedroom, there was this little toy house that the house used to only turn on this little chime music if somebody crossed right in front of it. So it was motion censored. And if you crossed right in front of it or pushed the button, that little music would start. So I standed up and looked towards the bedroom, and the light turned on from that little house because it was like the size of my kids. It was like a pretty big house. And the little music started playing. So I hear dun, 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 dun. So I got freaked out, and I ran back into my room, and I went back to bed. I closed the door and I went back to bed. In the morning, I told my sister, like, hey, like that little house started playing out of nowhere. She's like, yeah, it randomly starts playing. Like it's weird. We'll be watching movies late at night, and that little house will turn on and the music will start playing. So I found it weird, and more crazy stuff started happening. So we would have dinner, and my little girl, she was almost 2 at the time, would go right in front of the room. She wouldn't enter that bedroom by herself. She would sit right outside of the door, and she would start eating, and then she would try to offer food to something. I don't know what she was talking to, who she was talking to, but she would offer food, like in Spanish, like, ¿quieres? And so I would tell her, like, Yuritsa, come here. Like, what are you doing? So I went to my aunt's house and I told her what was happening. She's like, no, don't let your little girl get by them because they go for innocent souls, which are children. She's all like, don't let your daughter talk or play with that thing or person, whatever it is that's inside of that bedroom.
So 6 months into being in a relationship with this chick, she randomly decides to go through my phone, right? She like, let me see your phone. I'm like, cool, I ain't got to hide. So she got my phone. She going through it, you know what I'm saying? Snapchat, Twitter DMs, Instagram, going through my text messages, and she don't find it, right? So then I said, okay, let me see your phone. Let me go through your, you feel me? So she hand me her phone. I'm going through it, and I ain't gonna lie, I don't see shit like the DM, Snapchat, none of that shit. I don't see nothing in her phone, right? So as I'm going through her phone and not finding shit, I hear her go, and I was like, what the did you do that for? And she like, oh, nothing. Can I have my phone back? You had it long enough. Nah. So at this point, she realized she had some shit in her phone that she forgot to delete, and she didn't want me to see that shit. So now I'm digging. I'm going back, flipping through DMs, all these apps and shit. I'm still not finding shit. But then I went back to the messages, and I seen that group chat. I go in the group chat, and the first couple of messages was her telling on herself. That girl got in her group chat and said, y'all stop me. I'm drunk and I'm about to cheat. And then her friends in the group chat responding back and talking about some, no, don't do it. Don't cheat on Kyrie. I like him. Don't do that. Now her response is the craziest part of this whole thing. This girl said, I like him too, and he make me so happy, but I'm still finna cheat. I didn't even get mad. I was confused. What do you mean you like me and I make you very happy, but you still finna cheat? I was so confused. I'm still confused about it now. And that happened probably like 4 years ago, and I'm still confused. Then when I broke up with her and told her to get out of my crib, she started crying and didn't want to leave. Like literally fell out crying. And I was looking at her like, what the What are you crying for? Do you have a mental illness? You crying? Certain women, they love chaos. They love difficulty. They like that. If you're in a relationship going too perfect, too smooth, too good to be true, they gonna start sabotaging that, bruh. I don't know why they do it. That's just what they do.
I'm from a super small town in Colorado where we don't have very many issues with roofing or kidnapping, sex trafficking. Mind you, we don't have any issues with this. So honestly, I'm kind of glad that I see stuff like this to give myself some awareness. A few months back, I was down on the Front Range, Lakewood, at Colorado Mills Target. I was walking down one of the main aisles and I was grabbing a few things. I needed dog food and I wanted to get some of the Target brand Birks. So I had a big cart, and as I was walking down the main aisle, there was two women coming directly at me. So I moved across the aisle and they did the same, and they stopped immediately in front of me. There was not even like an inch for me to move my cart. And they go, "Can you join us tonight at our house for a Bible study?" I said, "No, thank you. I'm not religious." I am, but I didn't want to be vulnerable. I didn't want to engage. So they said, "Are you sure?" I said, "No, thank you." One of the girls look at me and they say, "Fine, you B word," but very aggressively. So I was kind of shocked and I stood there. And they walked away and approached another female similar to my age. And they said, "Our car is dead in the parking lot. Can you jump us?" So immediately I knew something was wrong. Something was way off. So I went to the checkout, like the register, instead of the self-checkout. I didn't want to be alone and I wanted to tell somebody about this. The girl there called her shift lead and the head of security for the mall. And they came and I told them everything. And they told me, "Thank you for letting us know this has been happening. Do you remember where they went or what they were dressed in?" I told them nice clothes, long skirt, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So they offered to escort me out to my car. However, I told them just the front would be fine. My boyfriend always comes to the front and picks me up. So that's exactly what happened. I called my boyfriend. He picked me up at the front, and there was head of security right there to make sure that he was aware of the situation, that I was going to tell him. And I did, and I was super freaked out about it. The post I saw was about a girl who was at King Soopers who walked out to her car and there was a ribbon wrapped around her ski rack to mark her car. I just think that it's super important that people are aware of the different things that people do to make you vulnerable. I don't see this changing anytime soon, unfortunately, but we all need to be aware. If you see or hear something that is unusual, tell somebody.